sweet potatoes. Oh my god, that's hot! What is up, beautiful people? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Those of you who do not know me, my name is Erica, and this is my YouTube channel. Today's video, we are gonna be meal prepping. So before I start, right? It's 3 p.m. currently, and I don't know how long this is. Last week it took me 4 hours to finish, so we're gonna see. I'm gonna show y'all how I lay out my stuff when I meal prep. But this is a new Celsius flavor that came out. It is called Retro Vibe. Apparently it tastes like a little slushy, so we're gonna go ahead and try it right now. Always have your hair up when you're cooking. And I'm gonna tie this up quickly. So, all right, taste test. But I feel like this tastes like the Rise rainbow sorbet. It's really good, don't get me wrong, but I feel like they're the same thing. I'm not complaining. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first thing I do is I pre-season my meats, right? So my beef, I don't really worry about this, but since I already have it out, I just put it in the sink. Chicken, there's a process that I go through, right? So for my seasonings for my chicken, I usually use black pepper, pink salt, cayenne pepper, paprika, and this Kinder's wood-fired garlic. This stuff is the bomb. I'm gonna be blending these chipotle peppers, and I'm just gonna put it in a bag. I'm gonna put all of these, I'm gonna probably put 2 in one bag, in a Ziploc bag, and I'm gonna let them simmer while I do my other stuff. So that way, you know, you're killing 2 birds in one stone. So I got my Ziploc bags, and I'm gonna be putting my chicken in there, and then that's when I'm gonna dump everything in. I'm gonna show you all the process of me blending this stuff and then adding this stuff into the bags, so that way my chicken can season. While I'm doing this, I make sure I preheat the oven, so that way my sweet potatoes are ready to bake in the oven. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Also, I usually preheat my oven to 425. So let's go ahead and do this part. A lot longer than what I thought it was gonna take me, but I didn't really clarify. So I'm prepping 35 meals and however long it's gonna take me. I started at 3 and it's already been 30 minutes. Now I'm gonna season this chicken. So I don't really have a measurement as to like how much I put in each bag. I just kind of go crazy a little bit on like the pepper. You know, for salt, that's just something, I can't do too much of it, you know, for sure. It's just like a sprinkle too. So I just kind of use my best judgment. But I forgot, dude. So instead of using avocado oil, I've been using apple cider vinegar. That smell is just so good. But it's just a better alternative, just to not have as many fats. My taste buds are like to the point where they're kind of fried, so I can't tell the difference anymore. But I use apple cider vinegar to kind of just oil it up. And I literally put the seasonings before I do that. I usually put the apple cider vinegar first and then the seasonings. Take that mistake from me. Okay, so yeah, bag number 1, bag number 2. If you ask me how many pounds of chicken this is, I don't know, but I eat this throughout the week. This is 5 packets of chicken. So, okay, next thing that I'm gonna do. I said I was gonna blend this. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I gotta clean it up. Blend it up. It's pretty good. I'm gonna do, since this is 12, I'm gonna do 6 ounces on one bag and 6 ounces on the other. Okay, so I've massaged the bags and this is what we're working with. I've massaged it a little bit longer, but for time purposes, I'm just gonna put it in my fridge, right? And we disinfect, right? Because we just have chicken in our counter. And this time, I usually like cutting out my sweet potatoes and putting my broccoli up and cooking my rice. I have a 5-pound bag of sweet potatoes that I got from Costco. So my broccoli, I buy it from H-E-B and I buy it frozen. Now, you can go with the generic, you know, whatever, regular produce, but I buy the frozen because by the time it gets home, it's already like defrosted and everything. It's nice, mushy, and when you heat it up, it's the consistency for me. So I buy it frozen, or I buy the big bag, and that's usually all I need. So that's my broccoli, but I'm gonna go ahead and start cooking my rice. Rice is very much a staple in my diet. And usually I'll measure out about maybe, I think it was 2 cups. I think I did 2 cups last time. So I usually do 1, 2, I usually do 2.5. I feel like that's been kind of consistent. So I use a 2-to-1 ratio. For every cup of rice, you have 2 cups of water. So don't use this to measure out your water. It's not accurate. You're not gonna get the consistency that you want for your rice if you measure it out. Use a liquid measuring cup. And since I did like 2.5, I added another half of water. You can never be too sure. So I usually leave it on the stove top. Sweet potatoes. This little pan, since they're already gonna be cut up. So if you ask me if I actually use this whole bag, I actually do use this whole bag. I consume that whole bag this whole week. So yeah. So this is how I cut up my sweet potatoes and I put them on here. I usually cut them into, what is this, 4s? Yeah. Like them to be cubed. I've tried the slices and the wedges. They just don't grow on me like I thought they would. But yeah, while I'm putting these up, I guess some questions that people have during meal planning, like, do I meal plan every day, every week? I usually take my Sundays as days where I meal prep, right? Because throughout the week I get super busy where I don't have the luxury to come back to my apartment and spend an hour or 2 to cook, to clean dishes, to do all that. I don't have that luxury, so meal prepping is technically gonna have to be a non-negotiable for me. And meal prepping is a good way to save money, to save time, especially if you're trying to reach your fitness goals. The term "hay comida en casa," my mom always said that. It's kind of that excuse also. Like, I already have a meal prep at home and I don't like wasting food. So it's also like a good excuse to come back home or even to take your meal prep with you. So it gaslights you a little bit. When you don't prepare yourself, when you don't prepare a meal and you have no idea what you're gonna eat, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna eat out, and more than likely, it's not gonna be good for you. When you start to eat a lot healthier, you start to notice more benefits, more how your body's feeling, and just, oh, it's a big one. You just start to notice those differences in your body, and sometimes you just have to listen to it. It's good for the soul, good for the body, good for the mind. People have asked me, do I get tired of meal prepping? Honestly, I don't, because it saves me so much time, so much money also, because I know that the money that I'm investing in this is good. It's whole foods, and it's keeping me fueled throughout the day, and I don't even have any complaints. Keeps me on track with my goals. But just because let's just say, for example, you want to lose weight, right? And you don't want to meal prep every day. You don't have to. It's all about moderation. It's not, oh, I have to do it every day. Yeah. If I were to offer some advice on meal prepping, definitely find a staple, something that you're definitely gonna like, you're gonna want to eat. For me, it's the sweet potato, which I'm really glad my coach put it in my program, because I don't know, I have this obsession with sweet potato. It's just good. So we're done cutting our sweet potatoes. This is what we're working with. Yeah, Big Mama needs to eat. So instead of olive oil, I use the apple cider vinegar. Just give it a couple sprays. This thing, you know, make sure. I personally like my sweet potatoes when they're really mushy. They make it so easy. I think of mashed potatoes. I don't know. I personally really like when my mashed potatoes are very mushy. So that's pretty much it. So now we're gonna put them in the oven. It's already set. I usually like leaving them in 15 to 20 minutes depending on how they do. So, them in. Alexa, set a timer for 15 minutes, please.
15 minutes, starting now.
Bam, easy as that. So, sweet potatoes, out of the way. Chicken is doing its thing. Broccoli is already pretty much done for us. Rice is cooking. So now we have our beef. So with beef, right, what do I do with my beef? Good question. So, I keep it simple, stupid. I use 96.4, but the steak seasoning. Steak seasoning with pink salt and pepper, that's it. That's all I do. I put it in there. So let's go ahead and do that. Rice, right now she is cooking. See that? Yeah, that means we're doing something right. Y'all saw the outline of kind of how I separate cooking the things, right? So your broccoli is already pre-made, sweet potatoes are cooking, your rice is cooking, beef is cooking, chicken is simmering in the fridge. So what do we have left, right? So now my favorite part is I clean the countertops and I lay down the meal prep containers. This is where the magic happens. So let's go ahead and do that. So these are the meal prep containers I use. I bought these at H-E-B and half of them my mom gave them to me. These I bought at Walmart. So what is the difference between both of them? Nothing, really nothing. It's just preference. I like having dinner time in bigger plates because it is my dinner time and I have it here, versus these are kind of more lunch style. Like I mentioned, I pretty much meal prep 5 meals. I pretty much have 5 meals per day that are whole food meals. First meal of the day is breakfast and I always make it here, so I don't count that one. I have 6 meals a day. So that's 1 out of the 6. 6 is kind of self-explanatory, so really, never mind, take that back. I really only prep 4 meals a day, but 4 meals times 7, that's 28 meals, right? Right? Sometimes 3 is 21, 28, yeah. So 28 meals in 1 day. So far, this process is going by a lot smoother. I don't know if it's because I'm recording it, but I think meal prepping gets easier once you know the amounts that you're prepping and how much you're buying, because I was kind of blindsided as to how much do I need, and I had to run back to the store and get more of something because I didn't have enough. I underbought rather than overbought. So my fault. Since I'm prepping for the week, I do prep for 7 days. So I'm gonna have 7 of the bigger containers. So we have meal 5, then we're gonna have meal 4, which this is my pre-workout meal. Meal 3, meal 4, meal 5, and meal 2. So 1, 2, 3. This is what the setup looks like. And don't get me wrong, it can be intimidating at first, but just don't be intimidated, you know? So yeah, not sponsored by Celsius, but this is a really good flavor. So you're probably thinking, how how do you even start, right? So I have my meal prep containers already lined up. What I like to do is I go vegetable to protein. So what I like to do is since my veggies are already pre-made, I like to already measure it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I use a scale and I measure out my veggies. Each one of my meals, they're pretty consistent. My coach made it so easy for me. Pretty much each meal has the same amount of veggies, so I'm gonna be measuring out the same thing for everything. So I'm gonna show y'all how I do it. Okay, chat, so we finished putting our vegetables in. So like I said, this bag lasted me all the meals that I needed. And I think one of the questions I'm gonna get is, Erica, how do you know how much each meal needs? My coach sends me a list of like the food and the amounts that I need. And if he doesn't make any changes, it's just embedded in my head to do it. And they're pretty consistent, like I said, so it's not like it's switching too much to where like, oh, I think I was supposed to have more veggies around this time than this time. So, and then another thing is like, Erica, how do you know which meal is which? So I like to start from last meal to first meal. That kind of helps me, but this is the leftover. I thought I wasn't gonna make it, if I'm being quite honest. So all I'm gonna do with this leftover now is put that in a separate container and just freeze it also. This little container, and we're just gonna go ahead and dump them in here. Check on the sweet potatoes. Oh my God, that's hot. Okay. They're looking very promising. So our beef, still cooking. Sweet potatoes should be done in 5 minutes. So now that I have my veggie, now I'm gonna add my rice. Since my rice is done cooking. Right. So for 2 of my meals, I get half a cup. So basically, I'm gonna use this little guy and just put it in my meals. This is what it looks like. So all the meals that need rice have rice now. So now it's just my dinner and my lunch that have the sweet potatoes, which should be done right now. That's so coincidental. Alexa, stop. Also, I know a lot of people feel intimidated by meal prepping because of the dishes after. Now, I'm gonna give y'all a tool. What I like to do is while let's say I have a really long break, like my chicken is taking a little while to cook, use those gaps to clean. So you're not having to do it at the end. Multitask. You get my drift here? Just do it all at once. Yeah, they're ready. Oh yeah. Sweet potatoes, I get 5 ounces. So, shall we begin? What? You're probably thinking it looks a little crazy. Yeah. So when you're prepping 28 meals, it's gonna look like this. But if you're prepping like maybe 10, 15 meals, don't even worry about it. But this is for a whole week. Big mama that eats 6 times a day. So chicken, right? Here she is in all her glory. This looks really good. This is what we're working with. These are our bags of chicken. We're gonna go ahead. This is already heated up, so this is where she comes into play. I put her on there so my chicken doesn't stick and burn. Now it is gonna burn. Let me tell you that. Warning, disclaimer. Here it is. And then putting it in this container right here. I'll keep y'all updated. I have literally 3, you guys. So I started at 3. We're like 2 hours knee deep in this. So update, my beef is finished and I distributed it. So meal 5 is completely done. Now we're just missing meals 4, 3, and 2. And they all have chicken. So, okay, strategy here. Since my potatoes are done, I was thinking, how about I bake some in the oven. On the comal, I'll cook the rest, and I have the air fryer going also. The air fryer can only take 2, so patience. We're gonna do it, chat. We're gonna do it. Trust me. Our oven is already preheated, so all we gotta do is insert our chicken, which Alexa, set a timer for 22 minutes, please. I don't know I consume this chicken. I gotta get my protein in. I know that there's plant protein, but here's the gist here. Plant proteins are not complete proteins. You're not really getting the complexity and the full dynamic of a protein if you're just consuming plant. It's still the same thing. Yes, the structure is completely different. I feel like a dad at a carne asada or something. I don't know. Yeah, chat. And I'm done with one bag. We still have this other bag left to do, so. Look at it. It looks really good. It smells really good too. Very promising. I'll update y'all once I get finished with this because it's going to be a long process. It's just cooking chicken at this point. I showed y'all the different methods. The comal, the oven, the air fryer. Now it's just a waiting game of how long is it going to take me to cook it. It's currently 5:26, so we'll see. It's actually 6:21. So it took me 3.5 hours to prep. This is the leftover chicken I had, so we did pretty good estimate-wise. I was thinking that I was gonna overestimate, but I actually did pretty good. So 5 packets of chicken is gonna be the go-to. God, I'm so tired. Let me pack these babies, right? The last part, the final stretch. But yeah, this was the process. I hope that y'all enjoyed it, that y'all learned something from it maybe. If maybe this inspired you to start meal prepping. Obviously it's not as this intense. This is bodybuilding prep. So don't think that it has to be this way. You can do like 3 meals out of the week and you know, prep them the rest of the week or have like a cheat meal in between. Things like that. But, you know, certain sacrifices we have to make. That is it. That's literally all it is. So now I'm gonna clean up. But that's the end of my meal prepping vlog. If you enjoyed it, please go ahead and give me a like, please. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel and make sure to follow my socials. That's where I'm gonna keep polling and asking questions on what kind of videos y'all want. But I'm gonna go ahead and get to cleaning up. Thank y'all so much for watching and stay tuned, stay safe. Love y'all.